The following video is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. Thanksgiving is here, and you know what that means. Action on the field and great food to eat. That's why I have partnered up with DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL, to get you close to all the action. Right now, new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, sign up using my promo code Philly500, and the crown can be yours. If you've already signed up to DraftKings like me, you can get a no-sweat bet, get a bonus bet back if your same-game parlay or same-game parlay X bet does not hit. Maximum reward limits apply. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry about it. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers who use the promo code Philly500 and bet $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code Philly500 only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Once again, I'd like to thank DraftKings Sportsbook for sponsoring today's video. And remember, use promo code Philly500, bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Okay, so before we start this video, I've got to talk about Darius Leonard. We've got to have a Darius Leonard update. It would be criminal if we don't, because by the time this video is up, it could all go down, okay? But it looks like the tea leaves, the wind, the Mark Holmes chicken sacrificing knife, everything is pointing in the direction of Darius Leonard coming to Philly. There are rumblings on Twitter, there are people following each other, and it just looks like everything is headed in the right direction. First thing we'll say, Darius Leonard's wife, her name's Kayla Leonard. She now started following Jennifer Slay, Darius Slay's wife. So all of a sudden, she starts to follow him the day, less than 24 hours after the Eagles cut Derek Barnett. And then there's talk about the possibility that Leonard could be an Eagle soon. And there's some of that out there. But the guy that I trust on Twitter, the guy that I think has been right a lot, okay, and I trust him, I trust the sources, is my man Joe Castro. He said this, he said, "You'll hear something by Monday in regards to Leonard. Nothing is, quote, done yet, but he's heavily leaning to Philly. Dallas is all but out." So it looks like Darius Leonard could very well be an Eagle. And he was responding to a Santa Bood First podcast, not sure who they are, and they're saying, "We had it last night, so why not continue getting ahead of the media? Welcome to Philly and the Eagles, Shaq Leonard. The linebacker room just got a boost." They're claiming it's already a done deal. Joe Castro said, "We'll find out by Monday." I trust Joe Castro. I trust what he says. And if he says Darius Leonard is coming to Philly, or we'll know more by Monday, and he's leaning that way, I believe him. So we might go out this Sunday. We need to get a win, and we could have another linebacker very, very soon. Now, let's start this video. What a great opportunity for the Eagles to add space between them and the rest of the NFC. The 9-1 Birds take on the desperate but talented 6-5 Buffalo Bills, and you better be ready for war. Dallas still stinks. The way, Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. What a glorious weekend. What a glorious Thanksgiving. No Derek Barnett. He is gone. And I gotta be honest, I've enjoyed this day all day, even though I have spent 4 hours trying to untangle mother-humping Christmas lights, But speaking of untangling, you got the Eagles and the Bills, and we've got to untangle the hope of any of these NFC teams have in catching us. But it starts with beating the Buffalo Bills. Now, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure, especially if you're new to the channel, to hit that like. Make sure you subscribe. And if you've been here for a while, I just want you to double moonwalk check. Make sure you're still subscribed, because crazy things have been happening. Now, you may be saying, why are you dancing so much? I've been dancing all day. This is like, I just can't stop it. It's like ever since the Derek Barnett news came out, I've been like, sitting there, and all of a sudden, it's like I break out in a dance. It's the Derek Barnett uncontrollable dance is what I call it. I'm just so excited that we have moved on, But in all seriousness, that's a big game for the Eagles this week. Not in terms of tiebreakers, because really this is another AFC battle that in terms of the tiebreaker is not going to help you one way or the other. But you have to understand, we are in the hardest part of our schedule right now. Really, the hardest part of your schedule really started at that Miami game. You won. Then you beat Washington, who you always seem to struggle with. We swept them. Then you beat Dallas. That was an important win. Then you have the huge signature win versus Kansas City on Monday night. And then now you have Buffalo. Every week the Eagles win, it puts more pressure on these teams to catch us. If you look at the 49ers, they're playing their best football right now. There's no question about it. And they're focused on us. They've got a mini bye week before us. They're going to come and give us their best shot, okay? But if we beat Buffalo, even if they were to beat us, they'd still be one game behind us, okay? So this Buffalo game's important. You look at a team like the Cowboys. The Cowboys, every week, they're hoping that we're gonna lose one game. The Cowboys want to be in a situation where we play them and they're only one game behind us, and by beating us, they would then be tied, and then you have to go to tiebreakers. That's what they're hoping at worst the situation is, okay? So every time you win one game, it puts more pressure on those teams. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if the Eagles beat Buffalo and then they beat San Francisco, Dallas is done. They're done. I don't think Dallas could catch the Eagles for the division. Even if they were to beat us, they would still be a game behind. And I don't think the Eagles lose the rest of the year. Not at the easy schedule we have coming up. But these next 2 weeks, they're very important for the Eagles. And then with Detroit Lions losing, you can put 2 games up on them. It's a very important game. And this is a very tough game versus a good Buffalo Bills team that may have not played good at all times this year. They've been underwhelming at times, but they're very talented. Now, here's the injury report for the Eagles today, and it's not that surprising except for one thing we'll talk about. First of all, tight end Grant Calcaterra, he's out, did not practice. Justin Evans' knee, he's out. And Grant Calcaterra is ankle, by the way. He was hurt with a concussion before the bye. Now it's an ankle. Dallas Goedert, forearm. Of course, we know he wasn't going to play. Defensive tackle Milton Williams is out with a concussion. This must be a pretty bad concussion. And I also wonder if the Eagles would have played on Sunday and he had that extra day, would it have been cleared? He was really good. I think he had his best game as a professional versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's a big loss, okay? And then the surprise of today is that wide receiver Devontae Smith shows up on the injury report with a knee, okay? And he did not practice, but they have already said he's expected to play. I don't think it's that big of an injury, but it was something like you might as well rest the next few days. You already know what you got in Devontae Smith. Let him rest, let him be healthy, but he should be good to go this week. And I think that Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown both could have a pretty good week coming up. Quez Watkins, hamstring. Obviously, he's coming back off the injury report. Limited practice, and he's questionable. It would be nice to get him back. I'm not going to lie. It would be nice. A.J. Brown, thigh, full practice. Julio Jones, knee, full practice. And then running back DeAndre Swift, ankle, full practice. It's like thigh, knee, toe, ankle, knee, ankle, toe. It's like it's crazy. Everybody's got an ankle or knee, and then of course Avonte Max, even though he doesn't, he probably still has his big ass toe. It's still probably a problem. It always is. All right, but this game, like I said, this is an important game. Not in terms of tiebreakers, but it just puts a lot of pressure on these other teams to catch us. These next 2 weeks, if you come out of these next 2 weeks 2-0, the Dallas game ain't gonna matter. It's really not, because what you got then Seattle, and then you've got the Giants, Arizona and Giants. It's going to be very hard to catch us, but we've got to focus in. We've got to win these next 2 games, and they're both at home. And the one thing, if you look at the Buffalo Bills, they're not very good on the road. They haven't been good on the road all year. They're 6-5, and they're 5-2 at home, and they're 1-3 on the road. And here's the thing that I'm scared about with the Buffalo Bills, right? Besides the fact that, Josh Allen is a tremendous talent, big arm, Stephon Diggs, these guys are guys you have to worry about. Kincaid, he's another guy you have to worry about. Their running game has been not that bad, but I think the Eagles, and I said this against Kansas City, but I'm going to say this again, they've done a pretty decent job running the ball, but I think and I expect the Eagles to be able to shut them down. What worries me about the offense, particularly in this game, is the fact that they've got a new offensive coordinator. The Bills, remember, they fired their offensive coordinator. Joe Brady has taken over. Now, it's only been 1 game, but one of the things that they said he did, he used a lot more motion than they have been using, and they were throwing to the running backs out of the backfield, trying to get Josh Allen to check down, to not be afraid to throw the running backs and take the yards that teams are giving you. A lot of times, Josh Allen wants to try to force the throw, force it in there, and he gets a lot of turnovers. I'm hoping this week that we will get a lot of turnovers off Josh Allen. But with the uncertainty of a new offensive coordinator, that does worry me some, because what are you going to go back and look at? Just 1 week? You're going to have to go back and look at what Joe Brady was doing with Carolina Panthers and things like that. But that's what worries me. Obviously, Josh Allen's a tremendous talent. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is good. And his offensive line does a pretty good job in protecting him most of the time. But if you get pressure on Allen, if you get pressure, or if I think they're even down, he will force the throw, and he will also turn the ball over. He will do that. But you have to get pressure. I mean, the Eagles, let's face it, we have not been good against the pass. Kincaid, pretty good player. And you know what? Tight ends have killed us. I think we're like the worst team against tight ends in the league, covering them. Kelsey killed us last week, except for he kept either dropping the ball or fumbling. And I'm so sick and tired. I got to say this, and this is just a little side rant, but the Eagles have been in first place for like 29 straight weeks, either tied for first or in first by themselves for 29 straight weeks in the NFL. That is absurd. Yet, every single time we win, it's never the Eagles are a good team. The Eagles did that right. The Eagles did this right. It's what the other team did, what the rest did, what everybody else did to give us a victory. It's never like the Eagles are just a good team. I feel like this. I feel like this is a team that doesn't panic, that in situations where even if you're down, they're never out of it. They're always going to keep fighting, and they don't panic. They're battle-tested, and they win a lot of those close games. I expect this game to be another close game. I'm not expecting any blowouts the rest of the year. I don't. Maybe the first round of the divisional round of the playoffs. At home, I could see it. But otherwise, I expect every game to be close. And when you look at their offense, I think Josh Allen, with Joe Brady, I think they're going to try to get him to throw to the receiver, to the running backs a lot more, take his shots when he can. And then Stephon Diggs has had 2 quiet weeks. I expect Stephon Diggs to go out and try to have a big game. He's got to feel, going up against that secondary, that it's a get-right game for him. And that's how he's probably looking at it. Buffalo's going to be able to move the ball. I think they'll be able to move the ball. Although I want to say this. I think you started to see the secondary get better. Now, I know you're going to say Kansas City doesn't have receivers. And you're going to say Kansas City, Scantling dropped that pass at the end. But I thought the Eagles secondary actually did play better. I actually think that they did play better, and I thought Kevin Byard especially started to feel more comfortable, had a turnover. I think he had like 8 tackles. He knows AFC teams. He knows Josh Allen. He knows Patrick Mahomes. So I think that's going to help him, and I think that Kevin Byard is going to continue to play good. I think he's going to get another pick this week. I think you're going to see. Here's what I think Byard has a big game. I think Byard is going to go out. I think he's going to have a sack, a forced fumble, and an interception. That's what I'm saying. I think he's going to get. And now you're saying blitz. He's going to actually blitz. I do. I think that they're going to blitz a little more. I think so, because Josh Allen will turn the ball over, but you got to get pressure on him. You can't just let Josh Allen sit back there and pick you apart. He'll kill you. He'll kill you. So I think that you have to at times bring pressure, okay? He's not Patrick Mahomes, but he's pretty damn good, and he's got better weapons. So the Eagles got to be careful. But I think Kevin Byard has a big game this week. He's going to continue to get better. I think with Roby in the slot, that'll help us a lot too. I know they got Dalvin Cook and they got their running game that has been better, but I don't know that Buffalo will stick with it. I think the Eagles defense. They had, 1 sack last week. I expect about 3 or 4 sacks versus Buffalo. Now, I know they protect Josh Allen, and he can run, he can get away with things. But I got a feeling that they're going to have a big game. I'm looking for a big game from Hassan Reddick, and I think you're also going to see Jalen Carter do some damage this week. But the Eagles will continue to get better on defense as the year goes on. But the biggest unknown really for the Bills is you got a new offensive coordinator. How is that going to affect the Eagles? That's what I want to really know on offense. Otherwise, you know what you got to do. You got to get to Josh Allen. Can't give him time because he will kill you. He's got weapons out the wazoo, so you have no choice. Pressure, pressure, pressure. That's what it's always about, especially the way this Eagles defense is built. Now, the final thing about the Buffalo Bills and their offense is you got to worry about Josh Allen's ability to extend plays and make something out of nothing. Much like Patrick Mahomes does, he can keep a play alive, he can run, he can extend it, and he's got the arm to pretty much deliver it at any part of the field. So you have to watch that. But I do think that this is going to be a game with the Eagles' defensive line. I actually think Reddick and Sweat are going to be a big problem for the Buffalo Bills. I think those guys have a great game. Now, in terms of the Eagles' offense versus the Buffalo Bills' defense, the Bills, much like the Chiefs, very good defensive line. I think Leonard Floyd has 9.5 sacks. I think they rank in the top 3 in sacks. They get a lot of pressures. But like the Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills are very bad against the run. I think they're giving up over 4.5 yards a carry. The Eagles can run the ball on them. And I would like, and I say this every week, and I'm going to keep saying it, the Eagles need to go to DeAndre Swift more. Now, I'm not saying he has to have 15 more carries, 10 more carries, but I don't like the way they install their running backs in a game. You know, first quarter, you go with DeAndre Swift. He gets into a rhythm. Second quarter, he's out. Gainwell's in. Third quarter, you mix him back in, and then it takes Swift a whole quarter to kind of get going again. I think what the Eagles need to do is if you want to limit his carries to keep him fresh, that's fine, but don't take him out for quarters at a time. Keep him in there. You know, you take him out for one series or a couple plays. Don't be afraid to rotate these guys in and out. He should not be missing out on whole entire quarters. And if you do that and you play him more and you keep running the ball, I don't think the Buffalo Bills are going to be able to stop you, okay? The Eagles, I believe, can move the ball on the Bills. I believe the Eagles can score points on the Chiefs. Why I keep saying Chiefs? On the Bills, okay? They do have they are banged up in the secondary. Cornerback Dane Jackson, he's out, as well as Taylor Rapp. He's also out. So the Eagles are going to have a shorthanded Bills secondary to go up against, and they give up a lot of yards on the ground. I think A.J. Brown, who had 1 catch, 8 yards last week, expect a big, monstrous game from A.J. Brown. He is going to respond. He is not going to allow that to happen. So I expect a big game from A.J. Brown, and I think Devontae Smith is going to continue to make plays too. At some point, I've said this at the beginning of the year, I'm sticking with it. At some point, Devontae Smith is going to have a 200-yard game. I'm not saying it'll be this week, but I think that Devontae Smith will have, I think both receivers have a big game, okay? I think you're going to see a lot more 4 wide receivers like the Eagles used last week. Julio Jones, got to get him more involved. I don't want to see 1,000 wide receiver bubble screens, okay? I do not. Do not be afraid to run the ball. Obviously, the Bills want to get pressure on Jalen Hurts. They're good at getting pressure, and that's what they're going to look to do. People talk about, it's always 1st and 9 for the Eagles because they can always get that yard with the brotherly shove. I don't care. Just run the ball. Just run the ball on this team. I think the Eagles will score points. I think the Bills will score points. The question is who turns the ball over more, who makes the biggest mistakes. And the Bills have not been good have not been good on the road. They turn the ball over a lot. We are in Kelly Green in Philly. Kelly Green. All right. So when I look at the finals, when I look at this score and how I think it's going to play out, I think I have the Eagles winning this game. I think the Eagles are going to win 31-27. Of course, I get texts. I always text during my film. All day, nobody texts until I'm recording. But I have the Eagles winning 31-27. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to go back and forth. But what I see this. I see late fourth quarter, and I see Josh Allen going back to pass, pressure coming. He takes a bad sack. Now it's a 3rd and long. Boom. He throws it, deflected up. Kevin Byard with the pick. That seals the deal for the Eagles. And the Eagles go to 10-1. And then you get ready for the San Francisco 49ers. I think the Eagles win a tough one again. It's going to be close because these games always are close. But Buffalo on the road, I don't think they're going to have enough to come in to Philly and win. So Eagles win 31-27. Of course, I will be streaming that game. You don't want to miss it. Should be a lot of fun. And if the Eagles win, they're 2 games up on Detroit and everybody else in the conference. And then you get ready for the San Francisco Super Bowl because San Francisco has been waiting for that game for an entire year. And we are going to disappoint them again because Brock Purdy has got to go down. But before that, we got to take care of the Bills and Josh Allen. Tough matchup. We'll see what happens. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. And remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it.
Oh, God. No. I want to be like the Eagles.